names. There's also budding, planting, you get the idea. But she's arriving at the 14th degree and eclipsed, so we are being excelled into the limelight, bridging the gap, bringing in the foundation of Scorpio, the transformation of Hades, possibly, the death and the rebirth of something that we actually may have already felt during the Aries eclipsed new moon. So this is one kind of, it's an unveiling or maybe a revealing of something. So there's no need to fight it. Just take it all in and ask yourself, what is the highest manifestation that you could create with this energy? It really is an opportunity to create significant change in our lives. Often abrupt change. This year in the Dagara is a year of transformation, change. So we're all in it. But this eclipsed energy of the lunarities, it tends to bring information out of the blue, out of nowhere. You may feel yourself surprised, caught off guard. Inshallah and Ashe. Divine Will's blessings to you and for you, 333 plus magical energetic beings. Are we going to hit the 444 this month and those angel numbers? Please share with your friends. Share the excitement along with the other like-minded musers in the galaxy. Either way, thank you for subscribing. Thank you for joining me. And go ahead and hit that white rabbit. Do so right now. It's really the only way that we can embark on this journey and elevate this algorithm, giving us the nutritional quotient that we heartfelt so deserve, soul deserve. It's really like skipping stones down to the stones in our bones, our ancestral lineage, our inner value quotient, the optimistic venue, even our love quotient. Musing along the way. But while we're waiting for people to hop onto the live, tune into the replay, watch the afternoon or whatever timeline dimension you're in, are you loving the energy of this pre-eclipse moon? It's like the fold between the quantum fields, really expecting the unexpected, getting in the in-between. It's this emotional, multi-dimensional, portaling, juicy otherworldliness. And it often feels just like that, otherworldly, out of this world, the imaginal realm, the mystery and the magic between worlds. Given the nature, like the Earth star being a nature L empath, nature realm, animal totems, all the elemental beings, actually, that's what's stirring the soup this morning. So you may feel as if you're kind of getting an off-grid phone call, like God universe is like percolating in, calling us in, raising our manifestation potential in our day-to-day life. And the thing is, you know what? We manifest all the time. In our subconscious world, we're calling things in, whether we're aware of it or not. And often we get stuck. We get stuck on the hamster wheel. We're in the familiar of the way it's supposed to be and it's always been, you know, and to a greater degree, most of the time it's not very healthy. It's like a habit of a timeline creates a habit of itself. So how do we respond like the body energetically to an unhealthy habit, especially when it takes on a life of its own? We get that wake-up call often energetically before things actually manifest and land physically in the body. They've got to go through all of our auric fields. So that's a lot of, I'd say, tears in that universe, right? So this may kind of take something, a curveball, knocking the ball out of the park, something like the rug getting ripped out from underneath us, the unexpected, something otherworldly, literally, like tuning into a being of the other world. Maybe there's a message there. Maybe you're getting a new way of seeing things, you know? So just try to be aware, be mindful of what your heart is actually believing into to authentically be true. This entire year is all about transformation, change, getting to the roots of our origins, actually. So if it doesn't resonate with you or through you, flick it away. I tell clients all the time, flick it away or put it on the shelf. You can revisit it later. There's no time necessary to do that now. But once we upgrade our ability to potentially manifest our own inner value and we believe it and we're able to kind of open up to Goddess universe to receive it, literally answering the call, something that really lights up our heart, ET style, where we can move down a new future pathway, something that probably is life fated. And it really is as if the universe, literally, I have a post-it every day I read this. It's as if the universe is going to spiritually align the fabric of our destiny. We're kind of in that. And destiny is calling. And it's like, are we ready to answer? I feel like fate happens for us, and destiny is the road or the path that we follow upon after free will. So allow your intuitive gifts, your intuition. I do have the link in the show notes if you want to take my intuitive gift quiz, to be your own guiding star. Change your stars, leading you to the higher highways of elevating, communicating, creating, telepathy, light language, automatic writing, just to name a few. That's all fifth energetic center, right? So just imagine, if you will, in your fields of fields, cleansing all of your energetic fields, imagine how excited you're going to feel when your heart really lights up on its own. You get so excited like a little kid through discovering all of these new possibilities. Go back into that childlike wonder. I even muse about different timelines when our energetic centers open and awaken up. That's really what I go to when I work with people and I'm listening to them. It's like, okay, I know when the heart opens up and they're talking about heart. So then I got to go back into that timeline of when their heart opened up and discern that voice for them. So with that, my name is Tanya D, and welcome to my virtual medicine room. If you are new to my show and have yet to subscribe to my channel, Authentically Through Your Heart, please do. And hit that white button, the white rabbit, you're on YouTube. And even my Musing with Tanya D podcast. Yes, I do have a podcast. But the season of Taurus, we are in the season of Taurus. We are in the Earth Star, nature empathy, the heart center, the relational channel, the soul's harmonic, along with our sacral. Lots of energetic centers are percolating. And honestly, I feel like the shaman's portal is still there as well, but we're bringing it into the Earth Star. So it is a topsy-turvette, like the Earth is in the heavenly realm and the shaman's portal is in this dimension. Just a little snippet there. But before we go any further, once again, let's give a shout out to my 444. That's happening for us. The village is growing, tribes excelling, new peeps entering the community. Tell your story. My new subscribers, I just like to give a validation, a voice of acknowledgement that I do see you. I get a notification too, new friends. Welcome to the show. But my intention is totally to hit the 444 peeps by month's end. Are you in? If so, share with your friends, like-minded groups, and whatnot. And of course, a shout out to those of you that do tune in and have been on my journey since the beginning. Thank you. It really does take a village, a tribe, quality over quantity, right? But gratitude and blessings to you and for you as always. Thanks for joining in. And even the replay, if you tune in later in whatever timeline, it really does take a village. And remember to comment if you're in need for a message for your day to get you on your way. Sharing is another way of paying it forward. It's a gratitude blessing, just putting it out there. But you got to be reciprocal, right? So you can also find me on TikTok and YouTube Shorts, whatnot, things like that. Just remember, I am your otherworldly shamanic reflecting assistant. You truly are your own healer. But sometimes we have energetic hiccups, trivial pursuits. The rug gets ripped out from underneath us, and we need another worldly life coach assistant, myself included, by the way, to get us out of our own magical way so that our light shines a lot brighter. The daily snippet, what do I muse about here? Well, I love the planets, the cosmic elementals doing their dance, the elementals in the cosmic highway. And by design, I do follow the lunar energies of the moon through the seasons, the gates in human design. I do have a channel online today, 50 and the 27. I'll get into that later. I think it's called Preservation or something. Just so you know. But for the season of Taurus, literally, we do have the Earth Star, our 10th energetic center online. All things nature. Are you a natural empath, nature empath? I kind of like natural. That's kind of what I feel since. But go ahead and take my Change Your Stars quiz and find out your intuitive gift order. We're all intuitive. We all have a psychic ability. It's just how it plays out in our unique design. But we are really lowering the drawbridge this week, as we are kind of transforming our inner world, the imaginal realm. So now we're like lowering the drawbridge, kind of peeking through the cracks, the crevices, and taking it out upon the stage of our day-to-day world, taking our internet value out into the world, shining our innate value, creations, manifestations, producing. We got the rabbit, for crying out loud, all year long. So we're taking this out into the world upon the stage of our life, illuminating for all the world to see, shining by design. So are you feeling the rise of your internet value, just valuing yourself authentically more because you know you're worth it? I also do a 4 pillars and elemental foundation, your useful ingredients. I do those in the show. just for fun. And subtle energy chakras, of course, energetic centers, and even the channels, the pathways, sometimes by divine design, they are aligned. Even our auric fields. And again, as a reflector, I ask myself, is this the right time? Am I with the right people? What am I seeing that nobody else can see? What's the vision? It happens all the time. What is the movement that I am creating? And also, what is the solution I create within that movement? You know, I actually have a mantra, changing lives, igniting passions through the interneted highway, while awakening the spirit. Just hearing that. So with our mind literally off on holiday, in the season where things are really slowing down, you know, it takes time and space to manifest, to create, baby steps. We're kind of plowing the soil. We're kneading the earth, the fields for the harvest. And the wills of our mind, it's like the slow aeration. And that's what we do. Well, normally we do it in the spring, but in Utah, we've had snow clear up until a week ago, I suppose. But the artist's way comes to mind if you joined me yesterday in the Rising of the Origins, the language of the mind. So you may even have writer's block. Some of us get the other opposing force. Or your mind's on fire. You could have a language block, or maybe your automatic writing, maybe a new gift opened up. So with our mind off on holiday, you may also be reflecting on what words are producing, percolating affirmations. Subconsciously, we're creating these things. We're always manifesting. So maybe, you know, did you bear witness to some flower power intentions yesterday, creating them for this magic of this moon? So the Musing Moon meditation is actually finally on the highway. Time to really utilize these energies for the galactic frontier. So I want to kind of talk about quantum physics for just a millisecond or 5, I guess. So there's tons of people always talking about manifesting, positive affirmations and all that kind of stuff, right? Healers and so much more, blah, 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 whatever. That's what it is. But no one can really explain to people on how manifesting actually works. So I just want to give it a little insight, a little secret, a little share. Okay, so just real quick. So in the quantum realm, we could call that like the eye of God, or God's eye, the universe, the oneness. This is where everything exists, every thought, and all the matter is there, all the frequency potentials. Everything is there in this oneness. How people say you have everything that you actually need, everything will come together. For any thought or dream that we actually have, don't really worry about it. That's the quantum realm. It's like surrendering. Everything exists and nothing. It's even the void. So in this space, everything is particles and waves, okay? Imagination, every thought, belief, whatever it is, whatever, literally. So there's these wave particles and then there's little particles. And typically most everything is a wave at first because it's being created. So it's these waves and they're waving and particles and they're kind of flipping around and they're doing their own cosmic dance. Maybe you can get the vision in your mind, waving around, and they have no matter to them. They're just, there's no organization to them. Okay, so let's just say, so what happens is when you start to really manifest, really start to hope for something, wish for something, have faith for something, visualize it, imagine it, all that kind of stuff. First, you have to hold the note for 16 to 18 seconds to really do that, holding it. And most people drop that way before the 16 or the 18 seconds, or they segue into something else. So you got to keep focusing for 16 to 8 seconds. So what happens is in that 18 seconds, it reminds me of that car, gone in 60 seconds or something, whatever. But what happens is those particles start to build up momentum. And other particles will start to float around and around and around, attracting it around it. And they're either going to build the momentum with this wave and this particle, or they're going to bounce off, flick away, because they don't align. So you can see this even in a microscope even. I see particles all the time. It's kind of curious and interesting. But they're studying this in quantum physics, which that's not what I do. But those are just some facts. You can read about it, scroll about it. I don't know. But once you've really started to really form something to become matter, in the power of your mind, your abilities, your gifts, your intuitive gifts, you actually become a co-creator with the oneness, God, universe, your ancestors, source, so on and so on, dreams. And then that wave particle starts to become a solid particle. Once it becomes solid, you've now planted the seed in the quantum realm. Now what do? So once you plant the seed, you then nurture it, you then water it, you actually take care of it, you love it, and you love it more. You actually are taking care of it and you're loving upon it. So that's just how a wave particle goes into a solid. It goes and creates the seed and then comes into the physical realm. That's the process. So what's fascinating is we've got the shaman's portal, which is the imaginal, and we also have the earth star bringing things into manifestation into the earth plane. So a quick tip, okay, so 16, 18 seconds, plant the seed. You got to hold the note. That's when it becomes a solid, and then it goes out into the physical reality, okay? So kind of experiment with it, kind of play with it. I'll also give you another idea or a tip. How you can build the most energy momentum is when you are in that really high point. You're holding the tone for 16 to 20 seconds. You're imagining it. You're feeling it. Maybe, that's where the fake it till you make it thing comes in, or to create it in a way where you're in a low point, and it's usually very difficult. The first thing to do is watch a funny movie, laugh at yourself. And when you find yourself laughing, take that momentum, the 16 to 18 seconds, and manifest your perfect thing of what you're wanting. It has to be in the heart's desires, of course. And then go ahead and plant the seed and do this as often as you can, every hour by the hour if you can. And by nurturing it, okay, you got to nurture it. Another time or anything or something really good happens, and it really lifts and elevates your spirit and you're percolating on the inside, that would be another magical time, another time to really kind of bring that in, hold that note, frequency, sound, vibration, energy, 20 seconds. Say it, affirm it out loud, visualize it, just keep the vision going. Tune into a song, whatever it is that lights you up. But any type of climax or intimacy, anything where it just is, you have complete fulfillment, complete joy molecules percolating, those are perfect opportunities to take those 16 to 18 seconds, I'm just going to say 20, to change your wavelength in that quantum field and bring it into a solid energy to matter. And being that today is an energy where it's multidimensional, it's like the coffee brew percolating, transformational, somewhat unstable, frequency, energy, vibration, but it's combined with the earth star, the magnetic pole, magnetizing the energy of the season that we're in. So you may actually feel somewhat maybe percolating out of bounds. Maybe your percolation is all over the place, otherworldly, even a different perspective, getting that panoramic view of life. It's shifting, it's transforming. But given that this energy is really about manifesting, bringing things into the solid form, you could also be experiencing an entirely new world of energy, frequency, vibration. So how do we stabilize? How do we bring this into our world? So it's really a point of validation. It's important to pay attention to really what lights up your heart. What do you believe? What are your heartfelt desires and wishes? And then and only then, that's when we know that we are in alignment. We're in our percolating frequency vibration. We're attracting the solid, and we know that we belong. So we are kind of learning if we're in the right place and we're in the right time with the right people. And are we creating and manifesting it into our day-to-day life, bringing it into the earth star? So it's those conversations, if we put them out into the subconscious, this is what we're creating, and you hold the frequency sound note. But the key is to really follow your heart. Nobody listens to their heart. They don't protect their heart. They'll protect somebody else's heart. I know all about it. What our heart believes we need to nurture. And when we do so, we add potential to our creation manifestation. And then that gives ourselves kind of a value pack, if you will, a value pack battery, I guess, where we can literally raise the glass, cheers to ourselves, the chalice, and literally don't look back. And for myself, I can say this, I have been challenged to grow from something that I've had faith in breaking down right before my eyes. Usually it's other people. But in my response, the key to access is to respond differently than I normally would and think about what I truly authentically believe and respond from that eye of God, the oneness, the field of the universe, the panoramic otherworldly insights percolating. Even somebody or someone that you may have believed in for a very long time may actually be proven to be inaccurate or even wrong. And you might even be left not knowing what to believe because you're out in left field on the baseball field. Either way, tune into your heart, listen to your heart. This is where you have time and space to be a witness, if you will, yesterday's message. Research and kind of investigate, go in further. But the intention is to kind of reimagine, if you will, get into the imaginal realm of your potential to manifest and create whatever it is you want to bring into this earthly timeline. And just following what our heart believes versus what's actually proven, that's where the mystical and the magical is. And given the growth that we've actually experienced, hopefully within ourselves, I would say since the transformation of the I would say since we moved into the rabbits, quite honestly, the Chinese New Year. But it's highly likely that our potential to manifest has really, it's escalated. It's become more powerful. It's like we're planting seeds, but only pick a few seeds, because when we have to water too many seeds, we can't nurture them all. It's like people who have a bunch of children, the 10th child kind of gets lost in the airwaves. So no offense, but it may be difficult for a mind to kind of accept a new potential. So kind of sit, take space, allow it, be in allowance. I like that. Take a few days and allow things to become solidifying. And just know in your heart, we all belong manifesting more of these heartfelt desires within ourselves. What does that feel like? And it really, you're gonna lose friends over this. Just saying, because some people don't want to percolate, vibrate higher. They're content with the familiar. So that's kind of what's happening. So yeah, the quantum field. So I'd say put it out there on this tantalizing Thursday. So just a few announcements. Finally, I do have the Musing Moon meditation out on the highway. So grateful for that. And we're all experiencing an ending of some sort. I mean, I know I am. So this is kind of like the rising of our inner fires, our heart. But at the same time, the meditation is going from the shaman's portal to the earth star, releasing out the solar plexus. So tune into the Musing Moon meditation. It's actually pretty juicy. I actually had to record it twice. I was going through my own filtering system, apparently. And I do have a new episode out on my podcast, Musing with Tanya D, The Season of the Witches, my new audio artist out. The Voice of Nature speaks through stick divination with Mel Hoffman. This is a great story. Mel didn't work with Elder Melodoma, but she had been to the Dagara tribe with another gentleman. But we have a message from her, Sacred Journey Oracle deck, in this podcast episode, out for your musing pleasure. She's my audio artist in my virtual medicine room. And of course, remember to comment on your favorite audio room artists so I can have them on the stage again. You can find that at Musing with Tanya D podcast on my website, tanyad.tv/podcast, Apple, Spotify. I think the links are in the show notes, etc., etc. So that's out there. And I do a mystery guest on Sundays. I might change this up, quite honestly, just for fun. But my mystery guest artist, I do the 4 pillars chart in the Rising of the Origins. It's a private community. There's no need, nobody knows who you are. I like to bring in your elemental foundation and show you where your elementals are. Elementals are, again, part of the nature 10th energetic center, bringing the imaginal into this one. I'm very shamanic. That's just my gift order. And the Rising of the Origins, that's a free online immersion I do twice a year. This one starts June 1st, where we can immerse ourselves in discovering of our soul and our life purpose. I'm also editing or creating a handout for that container as well. And I also offer cowrie shell divinations, which were actually brought to the West by Elder Melodoma Some, the stick divination. And I realized in my divination kit, I have a wand, and that's part of stick divination. And I remember him being curious because my cloth is actually very different. Everything I do is through channeling and downloading from the universe. But I do cowrie shell divinations and also other one-on-one soul support sessions. But the shells are great. I love them. It's like throwing the bones, a different character, a different way of divining. But Malidoma is an African shaman of the Dagara tribe, Burkina Faso. I was there in 2020. I'm a protege, a student of his medicine since about 2012-ish. But he's now in the ancestor realm. I do miss his soul, but I do channel him. I'm also taking a few inspirited people, like-minded medicine people, on an adventure to Mongolia. So if your heart is feeling called, it's a limited time. I'm going to be raising the price actually the end of May. So just know that. I think it's almost $4,000 to go now, but it's probably going to go up. Mostly because everything else is, right? So astronomically growing out there, but we got to manifest, right? And I do by design. I do have an activated gate today, so this is fascinating. I always like that. This is kind of like I just do my own little memoir of what I'm feeling through the gates, and it's just part of my gift and purpose. But this is the gate of preservation. Preservation. It reminds me of like putting up bottles, if you ever did that in your childhood with your mom. So people with this manifested gate or channel, it's more of a distinguished aura. It's about caring and values. That's the energy of preserving the traditional values and caring for the people of our tribe, our village, inspiring confidence in others and seeking support and care from you. But you can overdo it, right? So this is where like the best qualities come out in the professional field. These people generally, like I only have this in alignment today. However, if you do have this alignment in your graph, I should say, your chart, you make an amazing teacher, specialist, medical, educator, administrator, guides, masters of the art of beauty. In other words, all professions related to all kinds of help and care for others that are suitable for them. These are service people is kind of what that's kind of what I'm feeling. It's to serve. But the 50 is a tuning fork. It's the energy to heal and transform groups by living your values. So I found that very interesting and instigating as well. But it's also the 27 is the empowered caretaker, the energy to care for others from an abundant overflow. But it has to be reciprocal. I do have the 27 and I'm supposed to be receiving. I can't keep pouring out when I don't get any receivership. It can't be one-sided, right? We got to balance these thread lines is what's happening. So fascinating there. And then on the elemental highway today, we've got a young water dog of a day, the Ren Xu. Sometimes I don't know if I say dogs are loyal, but it's also opposing the dragon. So we've got two solid mountains today. We've got a mountain front or a mountain range, but yang water is a philosophical kind of energy. It's imaginative. It's exploring our dreams, ideas, like going deep. It actually reminds me of the still waters of Scorpio. So we kind of have these two frequency energy vibrations. And the dog has yin metal hidden. And it's also being released because we got they're in a clash. The dog and the dragon clash. So resources, we're going to have an opportunity open up. That's what I'm sensing. And yin fire is wealth for our water. All water, not just yang water. So tomorrow we're going to have this as well. But so yeah, we've got wealth like right beside us. And the fire, the sun reflects on water. So it's a reflecting of something. And the mountain's kind of controlling. It's controlling power. Because earth controls water, gives it direction. I'm thinking of it like rivers, right? So it's giving us controlled guidance today. And the yang fire of the sun, that's actually money, assets. So we're kind of bargaining for this. It's wealth that we work probably hard for. It's a bargaining phrase maybe. And the yin wood, both in the dragon and on the year, this is a radical, innovative, otherworldly performance, which actually goes with the energy of the galaxy today. And yin water is kind of a frenemy. It's an enemy, maybe some sibling rivalry. Somebody who it's almost like it's the undercurrent. You know how water's got like streams of currents underneath like the big water? That's kind of what it feels like. It's something going on underneath the depths of the water. And of course, we need metal. We need a big ocean. Our imagination, emotions, community, a voice, giving voice to something, something maybe an intention, maybe something, give voice to allowing your manifestation to be heard, the voice of our manifestations. You know, I keep saying I've received $1,111,111.11. But you know what I find about the word 11? It's got elven, like elves. So that's really funny. And just being in receivership for that, whatever it looks like. Could be a bunch of elves. Just saying. I could have a galaxy community of elven elves around me, which I probably do. But the message of the day, I'm not going to mess this up. Yesterday we had the witness. So did you bear witness to something? But today we've got the tree of life. This is different than the book of life, the book of knowledge, the tree of life. So in essence, the tree of life, this is like the sacred symbol throughout all of the world. And the roots go very deep. You know, I've seen a bunch of shows with the sacred tree of life in it. I can't think of the one right now. But the girl actually turned into the tree because the tree was dying. It wasn't the dark materials. Honestly, I can't remember. But either way, the roots go deep. This is the Wedame. This is nature. This is the energy of the year transforming. But the roots go generally into the lower world, the unconscious, things that we create unconsciously. And the branches reach out to the heavens, the other worlds. But what's curious, you know, we've got the source of destiny. We've got the ancestors. And we've got to kind of bring that in, collaborate to be who we are, embodied on the journey of life. This thing called life reminds me of Prince. So it's very important that we really have our grounded deep roots, right? Things that are rooted in, and that we have branches streaming out. A tall tree, and I know this, with shallow roots falls on that first wind, just like my big old pine tree in the front yard, over 30 feet. I love that tree. The wind took it out. I'm not kidding you, because the roots didn't run deep. I kind of wondered if that was like symbolic of myself. Maybe my roots aren't running deep. Maybe I'm not grounded. I don't know. But a tree with deeper roots can really weather any storm. Or maybe I'm getting new skin. I'm just marinating out loud. But the tree of life today is otherworldly. So it's kind of asking us, what nutrients do we need to add to our soil so we can grow stronger and become rooted? The seed of an oak tree can't grow on barren ground, especially without the light of the sun. We do have young fire, so that's helpful. And what dreams? Fire is also dreams, the ancestor world, dreams, source, visions, those kinds of things percolating. So what is that you want to awaken and create a mindful destiny for? So that's we're kind of percolating, doing a pre-percolation before this moon. So kind of reflect on how or what you want to bloom or blossom, and whatever fruit you want to manifest or produce. And where do you want to sow those seeds, new seeds becoming manifested from the quantum into the physical? And be conscious. But what else is curious about this tree is the 58. The 58, when we commit to a new idea and then we know it in our heart, we then believe it and it belongs. This energy is actually a higher octave of the energy of today. So it's like the universe is asking us to be mindful of what we want to co-create with Creator and manifest and bring into this dimension. So it's actually very fitting energy. This whole day is. So ultimately, it's a day of knowing in our heart that we belong, manifesting more and more that's in alignment with our personal divine design. It has to resonate from our heart space. That's the quantum field. If it's not in alignment with your heart space, you won't manifest it. So make sure you're honoring your heart in that sacred chalice, that space. And when we're in flow and we're doing what our heart loves, have you ever noticed time just organically flies by? We're in sync with Creator and we're loving it. And we're beyond the momentum. Time flies by when we are being in authenticity with ourselves. So ask yourself, what is it you are releasing that is the tie that bound you from going where you have never gone before? So I find often it's the people we associate with, the environment we're in, the past experience that we've kind of held on to. So this lifetime or even another, I would affirm by design that I am in the rightful place at the right time, manifesting the desires of my heart instead of the other. You kind of have to knead the soil, go aerate, play in the dirt a little bit. I'd probably bring in metal as far as metal or water. Water is about reconciling, speaking into the water, invoking what it is you want to manifest, and actually drinking the waters. There's a bunch of different rituals you can do. with this energy, frequency, vibration. But with that, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate that. Comment if you need a message for your day. Either way, and I'll see you on the other side. Ashe.
I do. What's really amazing about doing the energies healing sessions is how much it really connects me to the spiritual realm. And that can be sometimes an ancestor coming through for a client, or it can be a specific animal that's there for them. It can also be a being like Kuan Yin, for example, or trying to think of some other ones. Well, Pegasus is one of mine. One time I was working with a friend and I saw this black stallion and I mentioned it to her after the session and she said, how did you know about the black stallion? It's like she was already in touch with that. So sometimes I don't even know where the information is coming from, but it just comes through. And that's part of what I really love about it. And then also in terms of the whole chakra system, a lot of times people's chakras will become